Hey guys, welcome back to PristineZReads. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Merchant's Daughter by Melanie Dickerson, book number 2 in the Hagenheim series. Yes, technically I already reviewed book number 10, but I didn't review book number 2, so I'm skipping back in the series to review it. Alrighty, let's get started with it. This is the no spoiler review. If you would like the super in-depth, fully detailed review, please check out my super spoiler review. Alright, let's get down to it. First up is my summary. So, The Merchant's Daughter is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast fairy tale. And it starts out with us meeting Annabelle Chapman. And Annabelle is a young woman who lives in this village called Glenville. And when we meet her, the old lord of the village has died, and a new lord is coming in to take their place. Annabelle has the secret dream of one day going to an abbey to be able to read and learn the Holy Scriptures. But some unfortunate circumstances cause her to change her plan. Annabelle's dad had been a wealthy merchant, and when he was alive, because when we meet her, her father has died, when he was alive, he brought in a lot of money. They were all comfortable and well taken care of, and they had no reason to work in the fields like the other commoner villagers. But when Annabelle's father died, then they didn't really have much means of supporting themselves, but they were also too proud and lazy to go work in the fields with all the other villagers. And the old lord had turned a blind eye to that and didn't make them do anything about it. But now that this new lord is here, he will not be deceived so easily. He orders Annabelle and her family, all of them, her two brothers, Edward, Durand, and her mother, to go and start working in the field harvest immediately. Annabelle's brothers are extremely lazy, and they do not want to go work, and they do not want to do work of any kind, and neither does Annabelle's mother. So Lord Lewis, that's the name of the new lord, gives them another option. Annabelle's mother can send one of her 3 children to the lord's house to work as an indentured servant for 3 years. None of Annabelle's brothers want to do it, but Annabelle's brother Edward has an idea. He thinks that Annabelle should marry the village bailiff. Bailiff Tom Atwater is his name. But Annabelle has no desire to marry him whatsoever, even if Edward says he can take care of their family and support them. Annabelle knows the bailiff has made unwelcome advances in the past on her and tries to make that clear to her brother, but he won't listen. So Annabelle decides to go to Lord Lewis's house and offer herself as an indentured servant for 3 years. Lord Lewis is surprised because Annabelle is the youngest of her family, and he thinks that her mother should have sent her oldest. But Annabelle doesn't care and would rather be an indentured servant for 3 years than marry the bailiff. So she starts work in the fields, but the Lord quickly notices that Annabelle is not made for this kind of work, and her hands get blistered and she gets sick out in the sun. So he moves her to the house to work there. But while Annabelle is working there, Lord Lewis sees that Annabelle is not just an ordinary poor servant, and he knows that she must have come from a better background. So he asks her if she can read Latin, and as she can, he invites her to read to him every night a portion of the scriptures. Annabelle accepts, but she's also scared of this lord, as Lord Ranulph Lewis has only one eye. His other eye is covered with an eye patch, and his left arm is mangled severely from a wolf attack, and it never healed properly. And he also has a fearsome temper and can be quite intimidating and angry most of the time. But despite Lord Lewis's outward appearances and his fearsome temper, he and Annabelle begin to form a connection nonetheless. When Lord Lewis is injured in a fire, Annabelle must help tend to his burned hand, as she knows a remedy that would make it heal faster. So they form an even deeper connection. But what kind of dark secrets is Lord Lewis harboring in his past? When Annabelle finds 3 paintings hidden in her lord's private quarters when she goes in there to clean. She begins to question who Lord Weiss is and his history before he came to Glenvall. Lord Weiss is very angry at her and catches her, of course, but will they be able to put aside their social status, as Lord Weiss is, of course, the high-ranking lord and Annabelle is a servant, to be with each other? And what happens when the town bailiff causes trouble for Annabelle and things get even more out of hand? Will Annabelle choose to pursue her dream to live at an abbey, or will she stay in Glenvall to be with Lord Weiss? You'll have to find out. Alright, so now onto the morals. First up is Christian belief / other worldviews. So again, there wasn't like a super strong Catholic influence here, which I'm thankful for again. There are a few mentions of being absolved and like them saying, oh, holy saints preserve us, stuff like that. But there's nothing like doctrinally wrong or stuff like that. Okay, that's it for worldviews. Next up is violence. So there was a scene where the bailiff got bashed over the head with a rock, and that resulted in him being unconscious and his memory loss for a couple of days. But he didn't die, like nothing serious came out of it, or nothing super serious I should say. You'll have to read the book to find out the full consequences of the incident. But there's also a scene at the end where a mob tried to threaten and attack Lord Weiss in his house. But minor spoiler alert, Annabelle stood up and defended him, and the mob quieted down and went back home. Minor spoiler over. Alright, I think that's it for violence. Next up is romance. So the other maidservants working in the house like to talk in a very coarse and, how should I put this, immoral way about the other male servants and Lord Weiss. There's like no specific like details or like words mentioned. I wasn't a big fan of that personally, but yeah. Okay, minor spoiler alert. There was also a mention of an affair Lord Weiss's old wife had with another man, but Lord Weiss's wife died before this story in the book took place. And there's also a mention of, when Lord Weiss's old wife had a child, nobody knew whether it was their child or his wife and her lover's child. But yeah, okay, minor spoiler over. The bailiff also made like a couple advances on Annabelle, which like he bruised her wrist and her face at a few times. And there's also a comment he made one time that said, and I quote, "Come with me to the woods tonight and I'll show you what a real man is like," end quote. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of that either. I thought it could have been omitted, but I guess that was just to show like how evil he is. Anyways, of course, Annabelle turned him down, and she always carried a knife with her at her side in fear that the bailiff would try to do something to her. But yeah, that's it for romance. Next up is alcohol. There were a few mentions of some men at the house getting drunk. No great detail was poured into that. That's it for alcohol. Next up is my rating recommended age level. I'm gonna rate this one 4 stars. It definitely wasn't the best in the series. I think it wasn't my favorite. Like, some things that made me like deduct that star was those things I mentioned in the romance section. And also I feel like if you're to do a Beauty and the Beast retelling, then, I don't know, Lord Weiss's change or gradual transformation of the book seemed like more kind of abrupt to me. I think it could have been like done slower and have had Annabelle play a slightly bigger role in that. But yeah, I mean, that's just me. It's minor. Just a plotline thing. But yeah, the storyline also wasn't like as exciting as some of the other books in the series. But again, that's just my personal preference. I'm gonna rate the age level at 14 to 15 plus because of those things that I again mentioned in the romance section. I personally think those could have been like omitted. It wouldn't have changed the story much. But yeah. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye! How did the fire start? She said.
Fire? What fire? Where's the fire? Someone call the fire department! Call 911! Call someone! We're gonna burn up in flames alive!
I don't know, but our entire barley and oat crop is gone, I'm sorry to say.
Wait, what do you mean there's no barley and oats? Are those food? Does that mean we have no more food? I thought the guy over there said there's plenty of food in the kitchen. These people are mad. Which one is telling the truth? Is there really a fire? Come on, people. Be honest.
It is a tragedy, especially because of the severity of this drought.
Drought? What drought? But that means we can't grow any more food. We're gonna starve. I feel faint. Woe is me. We're gonna starve.
By God's grace, we still have the wheat supply in the smaller barn. The wheat by rights belonged exclusively to him, but he couldn't let the villagers starve. He resolved to buy enough barley and oats to last the village through the winter.
Wait, did this guy just say he owns all the food left? What if he's not nice and he doesn't give any to me? Then there'll be none left. Oh wait, but he said that he's gonna buy more for all of us. Yay, we're not gonna starve. Woohoo! Woohoo! Let's party! Woohoo! Let's party! Woo! Wow, we're not gonna starve! Hallelujah! Wait, my sunglasses fell down. Oh, gotta go get them now.